Hi dear Tauruses, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the transits for the month of December. This month should be relatively peaceful because we don't have eclipses in December. And it's been like a month and a half since the last eclipse, which means the dust of the eclipses has settled. So life should be relatively peaceful until like March, when we'll have another eclipse. Okay, like our routines turn upside down during eclipses. That's why I'm mentioning it. So in December, yeah, like we don't have eclipses. It should be fine. But we have one major thing, and that is Mercury retrograde. Yes. So, dear Tauruses, if you are watching this in November, and if you are thinking of buying an electronic product or whatever for this Christmas as a present for somebody, then do so ASAP, okay, while Mercury is still out of the shadow zone. But life happens, so if you have to buy it in December, make sure you keep the receipt, or make sure you can return it or exchange it later, okay, if it malfunctions, because Mercury tends to do that. When you buy things during Mercury retrograde, it tends to malfunction or break sooner than it's supposed to, okay. And so let's begin with the outer planets first to create a context. Tauruses, you have had Pluto in your ninth house for more than a decade now, since 2008. It's almost ready to leave your ninth house and enter your 10th house. Okay. Another thing, so ninth house, your personal philosophy, your worldview, how you look at the world, how you interpret the world, that's the ninth house. And Pluto, it's a planet of transformation. So for the past 15 years, you've been transforming your worldview. I mean, it's natural, right? But because of Pluto, it's been more intense for all Tauruses. And next, another thing is because Pluto is such a slow-moving planet, because it's just so far away from the sun, we feel its aspect only when they are making an exact aspect. So those of you who were born in mid-May, I would say May 18th, May 19th, May 20th, you are going to feel a trine aspect from Pluto, which is an empowering aspect. Trines are good. It's an easy flow of energy. So Tauruses, those of you who were born in the late degrees of Taurus, you guys are lucky, because you will be receiving this helpful, empowering, transformative energy from Pluto. Okay. And so after Pluto, we have Neptune. Neptune, the nebulous planet of illusions, has been in your 11th house of friendships, networks, okay, your wishes. So it's been in there for a decade. It's almost done with its transit through Neptune, but it still has a couple of years. So anyway, your friendships, what should I say? Like, Neptune is the planet of like dissolution, okay? It's a planet of unconditional love as well. It's also the planet of illusions. So it may have been that like some of your friendships dissolved, or some of your friendships might be confusing, or not what they, or like you don't see your friends for who they are, maybe. That's also possible. That's one of the possible interpretations. I'm not saying like one of your friends is screwing you over. I don't mean it like that. Or it just can be that you are being like, like wearing rose-tinted glasses, I guess, like trying to look at the good side only. Another thing is maybe your friend is experiencing some major creative time, because Neptune is the planet of creativity and it's in your 11th house. Yeah, or maybe if you are yourself in a creative field, it might be a time when you are collaborating with other creative people. Yeah, because 11th house is networks, like-minded people, and Tauruses, you guys are creative too, like very creative. So the past decade has been great for creative collaborations. And as I said earlier in the video, like you can feel this aspect like at maximum only when it's making an exact aspect. So if you feel like, oh, I didn't feel anything yet, well, maybe it's because it hasn't made an aspect to your planets yet. And after Neptune, we have Uranus. Uranus is in Taurus. It's in your sign. It's been in there since early 2019, so it must have been giving you surprises, unexpected changes, like pulling the rug from under your feet suddenly. And by now you may have gotten used to it, but trust me, I know how frustrating it is, because I had Uranus transiting my sign before you guys, and it was just awful. Like the 2010s, that decade, I had Uranus in my sign, and I literally celebrated the day Uranus left. That's all I'm just going to say about Uranus. But like, I feel like I'm spreading, I don't know, fear of this transit. But like, it can actually be a very exciting transit. You might be trying. You are probably trying things you never thought you would do. Like when out of like there might have been situations which forced you to come out of your comfort zone and experience something new. Yeah, so that is Uranus. Let's look at it optimistically, okay? You are probably getting experiences, like, I mean, opportunities that you never thought you would get. So if you are thinking of becoming, like, I don't know, a viral star, or like someone popular, or someone, I don't know, sensational, like Uranus transit can do that to you. So sudden fame, okay? So milk it. There was like, who was it? There was a Canadian like TikToker, and she kind of like imitates NPCs like this, like very realistically. I looked up her sign, and she's a Taurus. So she's doing Uranus in Taurus. She became like a viral sensation on TikTok like over the summer. Yeah, and she made a lot of money, and I was like, that's definitely Uranus in Taurus, okay? And another thing is, like, I follow a chef on Instagram, and she just posts beautiful like pictures of food, like how to cook. I get inspired from her videos. And so the thing is, she's a Taurus too, and so she's experiencing this Uranus in Taurus in her sign. She's just a housewife, like, and she decided to post the videos of her cooking, and it went viral. And now she has like millions of subscribers, and even has like her cookbook coming out soon. So that's Uranus in Taurus, okay? Dear Tauruses, instead of getting frustrated with all the Uranian surprises, try to embrace it, okay? We only have like 2 more years of this left, so I would say like milk this transit. And so after Uranus, we have Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces, like Neptune, but Saturn is in the early degrees still, and it has recently stationed direct, and as you know, I don't have to make too many comments, but you can see what's going on in the world right now. That's definitely Saturn in Pisces, because you know Saturn is karma, and Pisces is religion. It's the victim. Okay, so you can see the clashes based on religious karmic stuff happening around the world right now, and this is going to be the theme for the next 2.5 years, and I hope Saturn will help both sides to resolve this issue, because Saturn is a taskmaster. He is there to fix things. Okay, so I hope this Saturn and Pisces transit is good. And for you, dear Tauruses, this is your 11th house. Saturn used to rule this house. I mean, I guess it technically still co-rules along with Uranus, but yeah, so Saturn should feel comfortable in your 11th house. It's yeah, like it's used to its energy, and so Saturn will make you skeptical of friendships. Maybe you will cut off friends who are no longer good for you, or like you know, maybe you just don't hang out with that person anymore, and like, what's the point of texting them? Or like maybe you just outgrew your friendship. Okay, and it's like you don't have anything in common to talk about anymore. So Saturn will make you let go of those things, or all the extras. Okay, Saturn will make you keep only what's good for you. Yeah, so for the next 2 years you will be fixing your relationships. I mean friendships. Yeah, not relationships, friendships. So I mentioned Saturn, and next, after Saturn, we have Jupiter. Jupiter is in your sign, dear Tauruses, until next May. So you still have about half a year. And so Jupiter is blessing you, giving you luck, okay? Improving your finances, your self-esteem. It's like expanding your personality, like not like literally, which it can, but still like figuratively too. It expands your, maybe you are getting a degree, and now you feel like your self-confidence has increased because you have like more degrees now and like a consequently higher salary. That's one of the potential interpretations. I mean, and what else? So yeah, like getting to know yourself, improving yourself. That's very Jupiterian theme. Uh, Jupiter also can expand your waist if you're not careful. So Tauruses, just be mindful, I guess. Next. Oh, so now I'm going to talk about the inner planets in this part of in the second part of the video. On December 1st, Mercury is going to enter Capricorn until February 5th, 2024. So, as you can see, Mercury is going to spend almost 3 months in one sign, which is very unusual, and that is because of Mercury retrograde. Mercury is going to enter your 9th house, so like philosophical, learning, outlook, your worldview, okay? Those things, everything international. Like documents, legal documents, I don't know, like passport, visa, immigration matters, those things. Mercury is going to enter that area, and it's going to station retrograde there on on December 13th until January 1st. And Mercury retrograde has, like I'll talk about that later. But so on December 3rd, we have Venus in Libra making a square to Pluto in Capricorn. So Venus is finances, Pluto is also kind of finances. So that day might be kind of like about financial matters, or if it's not about finances, it might be the day like when all the pent-up frustrations kind of like come out to the surface, like a volcano eruption, because Pluto is very intense like that, like a volcano. And Venus is a relationship. So when they're making a square like this, like literally a clash of energies. So time will show how that is going to affect us all, and especially because Taurus, you are ruled by Venus, so you might feel this aspect. And next, on December 4th, Venus is going to leave Libra. It's going to leave your 6th house, and it's going to enter your 7th house. So from December 4th until December 29th, you will have Venus in your relationship area. So like getting along with your partner is easier around this time. It's like finding compromise. It's very easy around this time when Venus is in your 7th house. I can give you an example. Recently, I had Venus in my 7th house, and me and my guy, we were at Target, and we were going to buy like a bathroom mat. And so I asked him, I'm like, which one should we get? And he said, this white one. And I said, why don't we get this one with gray stripes? He was like, nah, I like this one. And I was like, okay. I pulled it out, and apparently it has gray stripes too, so it was like a perfect compromise. Yeah, and another thing is like, I wanted to do something, but I thought like my guy was gonna play a game, and I didn't say anything. But then I realized that he's working on that thing, and I was like, oh my god, I adore you because of that. And so it's like this easy flow of energy between you and your partners. That's Venus in the 7th house. That's why I was mentioning all these like mini anecdotes. Next, on December 5th, we have the last quarter moon in Virgo, which marks the beginning of like a week where not much happens. So let yourself relax, finish up the things that started with the previous new moon in November, and it's a great time to start getting prepared for the upcoming new moon. So it's like a time when you fill out the application and mail it so that it's delivered by the time of the new moon, or like you fill out an application to rent an apartment and they approve it by the time of the new moon. You get the idea. And usually you can you can start getting news 4 days before the new moon, okay? So 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, and so on, like plus or minus. And next, so after December 5th, if you feel like you don't have much energy to do anything, don't feel guilty. Take rest. And this is like a natural time to take rest because the moon is getting smaller and smaller day by day. That's why it's not a great time to start anything new. Instead, recharge your batteries so that when the moon starts growing after the new moon, you will have energy to do those things. And next, On December 6th, Neptune stations direct on the 24th degree of Pisces. So matters related to like friendships, collaborations, networking, like those things, in a subtle way, will start moving forward. Okay, it will be very subtle. It's not something like very like obvious in your face, but you might notice it if you are very like, I don't know, observant. Next. On December 12th, we have that new moon in Sagittarius, finally, like the 20th degree of Sagittarius. So, and as I said, December 12th. So, you can expect news, decisions, announcements starting from December 8th, okay? December 9th. Yeah, plus or minus. So, new moons are the times of new beginnings. It's like a new energy, new page. It's a great time to start new things. And, dear Tauruses, this is your 8th house. So, anything that has to do with shared resources, loans, intimacy with your partner, like serious commitment, those things get like a new boost, I guess, a breath of fresh air, like because new moon brings new energy into that area. And since this is not an eclipse, it shouldn't be like super major, but still, new moons are new moons. You can expect news, decisions, announcements, or maybe like how can I make an example of this? Maybe you applied for a loan, and around this new moon, your loan will be approved. Okay, does that make sense? What else? After that, one day after the new moon, we have Mercury stationing retrograde on the 8th degree of Capricorn, and that's when all the mercurial drama will begin. You might get lost. You might forget things. Yeah, or your Google Maps will start acting out. So make sure you read the fine print in things. Like, I'll give you an example from the previous Mercury retrograde that we had in late August and early September. I got lost a lot. Like, I moved to a new city, and but my things were still in like at my friend's place, at my old place. And so instead of taking a train to the big city, like I stayed at a hotel because I thought there were no trains in the evening, but apparently there were, and I didn't know that because I didn't read the fine print, and that's Mercury retrograde. So make sure you read things twice. Make sure you are sending your email to the person you are intending to send it to, or make sure you attach that important attachment to your email. Like, so doing things like very, very like carefully, because Mercury will pull some pranks on us. Yeah. And instead of getting frustrated, just be aware. Okay, I mean, Tauruses, you guys are very patient. You don't get irritated easily by small things, unlike me and Aries. Like, I get irritated a lot, but like Tauruses, you should be fine. And since this is in your 9th house, so 9th house matters. Again, as I mentioned earlier, your outlook, your philosophical beliefs, how you interpret the world, that's 9th house. It's like the filter through which we view the world. So those things, you might be reviewing things, redoing things. So maybe you will be applying to renew your passport, maybe. Okay? Or maybe you did apply and now around this time you are getting it back. Or maybe you need to reapply for a visa. I don't know, that because 9th house is immigration, and Mercury retrograde in that area is redoing things. Okay, maybe you received your visa, but there was like a typo, and now you have to redo it again. That's one of the possible things. Or like 9th house is also education. Maybe you will go back to some course and take some more of that course. Okay, and later Mercury is going to slip back into Sagittarius on December 23rd. And so from immigration matters to like shared finances matters. Okay, sharing things, intimacy, yeah, like the topic will switch. Next, I mentioned the new moon. And on December 21st we have the winter solstice. Sun enters Capricorn. I like winter solstice because even though it's the longest day of the year, I mean, longest night of the year, it still marks the beginning of a time when days start getting longer. Yeah, that's why I find winter solstice is very optimistic. And for you, dear Tauruses, this is your ninth house. I mean, this transit happens like every year, so it's not like anything major. But yeah, so the king, the sun, will be visiting your area of your personal philosophy for a month. So after that, on December 26th, we have a full moon in Cancer, on the 4th degree of Cancer. So, dear Capricorns, for you, the luminaries will be lighting up your 9th house and your 3rd house. So, your personal beliefs and your style of communication. Schooling versus university, so those kind of things. Short travel versus long distance travel. Those themes will be prominent. And also, because this full moon is in your 3rd house, it might also mean that your sibling is experiencing some major accomplishment. Because full moon is the time of like achievement, illumination, culmination. Okay, so when it happens in your 3rd house and the house of siblings, it means that your sibling is going through some important things. Maybe they I don't know, gave some major presentation and you go visit them to congratulate them, or they get some big promotion, or they start a business, or their book gets published, or like something like that, or maybe they're getting married, or maybe if it's not your neighbor, if it's not your siblings, it could be your neighbors, like experiencing something like that. Maybe you'll see like your neighbors getting married or divorced, something like that. I don't know, but anyway, so I would say mostly it's siblings, even though it rules neighbors as well. And also transportation, okay? Something about transportation. It's not necessarily bad, it's just, yeah. And so, full moon, culmination, illumination, regarding your siblings, as I said, neighbors, and then communication. If you've been writing some long report, this might be the time when you kind of like finish that report, okay? And it's like the end of the year, so it would make sense to complete those things around this time. Next, on the same day as this full moon, we have Chiron stationing direct on the 15th degree of Aries. This is going to be in your 12th house, dear Tauruses. And Chiron, since this is not a major planet, you don't feel it that much unless you have planets in Aries. Let's say maybe you have Venus on the 15th degree of Aries, and Chiron is there stationing direct. Then yes, you're definitely going to feel it. But otherwise, for other Tauruses, I wouldn't say this is like a major transit. Next, on December 29th, Venus is going to enter Sagittarius until January 23rd, so like roughly 3 weeks. And so Venus is going to leave your relationship house and it's going to enter your house of intimacy, shared resources. So all the flirtation and stuff, like from Venus in the 7th house, now it's going to get more deep. You start talking maybe about your future together, or how are you going to share your finances together. Maybe you'll open up like a joint account or something like that. You get the idea. Or if none of these things happen, it can be a great time for like 8th house related matters, which is like intimacy, physical intimacy. And finally, on December 30th, Jupiter is going to station direct on the 5th degree of Taurus. Yay! So especially Tauruses who were born in April, I would say April 25th. Yeah, you are going to feel this. But generally, for all Tauruses, all the Jupiter-related things will start moving forward, okay? So when Jupiter stations direct, it means that we will have only 2 planets in retrograde. But yeah, like what was I gonna say? One of those planets that is retrograde is Mercury, and which is a personal planet. So we are going to feel it. But still, overall, having as few planets in retrograde as possible is good. But just remember that Mercury is going to prank us in December with its retrograde motion. But overall, December should be a pleasant month. And I hope you guys have a wonderful December, have a wonderful Christmas and New Year, okay? I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, okay? And I hope to see you guys next year. Enjoy December 2023, dear Tauruses. Thank you for watching.